All right, hello everybody. We're going to give it another 3 minutes and let everybody come on in. Hello and welcome everybody. We'll give it another 3 minutes and let everybody come in. Okay, hey everybody. It's Nicole with eCom Sellers Academy or eCom Sellers Mastery. And we're supposed to have a special guest tonight, but we may not have him. So we'll see what happens. Um, but before we get into our session, I want to find out how you all are doing in your business. How was your Black Friday? How are things going in your business? What progress have you made? Are there still things that you need to do? Um, excuse me. So I want you to put in the chat, like, how are things going in your business, whether it is on Shopify or some other platform? How are things going? Did you have any Black Friday sales? Did you uh, make any money, whether it's in your Shopify store or whatever store that you're selling in? How are things going in your business? Well, hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, Nicole, how's it going?
It's going. How are things going with you?
Good. You know what? I'm actually, I had a friend that went through a pretty traumatic event here, so I'm actually over at their place right now. So I'm happy to jump on for a little bit here, but if you hear some noises in the background, you know what's going on.
I completely get it. I understand. It's been a very interesting day for me as well. So I
Mm,
understand.
yeah,
So I am so sorry. And if you have, I mean, you can go ahead and go. I'll talk to him about, what's being covered in the Golden Goose Challenge, and go take care of your friend and take care
sure.
of.
I could probably stay on for maybe just a few minutes, and then I'll probably end up jetting. So if there's anything that you kind of want me to chat about on the forefront, I'm more than happy to kind of chime in, and we can do a bit of dialogue, and then I can jump off here, just because I don't want to remove a commitment that I had with you, obviously, because this is important too. So
I get it. I get it. Okay. So let me go ahead and just go to those slides. So I'm going to go ahead
sure,
and present. All right, everybody. So we have a guest, Mr. Mike, with us. And Mike, what I'll do is I can take you off camera. Or you don't have to be on camera because I'm not on camera.
sure, yeah, sure,
So let me
okay.
see if I can find that. And, uh,
I won't take it personally. I know I don't have my makeup on and my my cherry bomb lip balm.
yeah. Okay, there you go. All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I get it though. All right. So the reason that Mike is here with us today, and he's just going to hang out for just a minute. We do have a schedule of what topics that we're going to cover, but one of the things that I wanted to invite you guys to take a look at is the Golden Goose Challenge that is being offered by Dropify. And the reason that I like the Golden Goose Challenge is because, as we went through our journey, and I'm going to back up and we will actually go over everything that we've covered over the last 7 weeks, or sorry, we'll go over all the things that we covered in sessions 1 through 6, because today is session
Yeah.
7. Um, but in any case, I'm going to fast forward just for a second. Sometimes people are challenged with, what do I sell? Who do I sell it to? Where do I find it? How do I find these people? How can I get some organic traffic so I don't have to pay for all of these, thousands of dollars to be able to drive traffic to my Shopify store? And so one of the things that I like about Dropify is that they've sort of streamlined aspects of the process, not all of it, but aspects of the process, because they give you an opportunity this late in the game, it's now December the 5th, for you to be able to find products that you can private label yourself, that you can put in your Shopify store, that you can sell
Hmm.
to customers that people are already interested in. You also can, because you have a Shopify store, you can use some of the Shopify apps and you can cross list products on Amazon or onto Walmart or whatever platform you're selling on, eBay or whatever. And so Dropify has created a process for you to be able to do that. Right now, the Golden Goose Challenge is happening. It started on Wednesday. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we pick up again Monday and Tuesday. So we have gone all the way through days 1 through 3. And in day 1, the focus was on customers. Like, how do I figure out which customers? How do I find them? Where are they at? So this, mapping that to what we've already done, is figuring out your audience. What's your audience going to be? And so when we do research on audiences, a lot of that research sometimes is done on Facebook. You can do research on audiences different ways, but one of the easier ways to do that is using your Facebook page and going in and doing some analysis on, what are people passionate about? What are they looking for? What do they need? And so if you figure out what those people need, again, this is the approach that the Golden Goose is taking, is that, we got to go find out our customer and what does our customer need or want. And that is the market research. Tying that back to what we did in sessions 1 and 2. That is one of the things that we do. We try to find our audiences, and we use keywords as part of our process to figure out what products we're going to sell, or use that to help us find our audiences as well. So their approach is really neat in the fact that then during this challenge, they're going to help you nail down or hone in on your audience. And the cost of the challenge is $55 just to attend and to be able to go through all of the sessions and all the workshops and to be able to figure out, what does your customer need, want, or need access to. And the Dropify product at the end of this whole project, you're going to be focused on selling pretty quickly. Like you can have it up and running in 4 or 5 days, either wellness products, fitness products, skincare products, or animal care products. And we'll get into those in just a second. But being able to find your audience. And so some of you already know what you want to sell. Maybe you've already got an established Shopify store. And maybe if you do, you already know what you want to sell. But if you don't know what you want to sell, who you want to sell it to, and how you're going to find those people so you can put your product in front of them, this challenge is a great way to help you find those people. Okay. In addition to what we've already covered, like in the previous sessions 1 and 2. So I just want to put that out there that the Golden Goose Challenge is available. Then the next thing that we covered, and I'm trying to get my mouse to move, was, figuring out, again, narrowing down your audience, what do they need, and then where do you find them? So a lot of the demographic research is being done through Facebook and then also Google. Well, Google is easy to use. It's free, so you can go and do research using Google. You can also do free analysis using Facebook as well. And figuring out how big is that audience. If the audience is way too big, then your ability to what's called niche down or be able to isolate that audience and put your product, whatever that product is, directly in front of them is going to be harder if it's too big. But if you can narrow it down to something more specific, one of the examples we use in our training was, okay, maybe it's for people who have dogs, who love dogs. And I'm going to use dog leashes, even though it's not any of the products lines that we're talking about here, but dog leashes was the example I used in session 1. Is that okay? So I'm looking for dog leashes for people who have small dogs who like to walk on the beach. That is a very specific audience. And it's a much smaller audience than people who like small dogs. So the audience of people who like small dogs might be, 3 million, but people who have small dogs who like to walk them on the beach, that might be specific people that live on certain coasts that have access to the beach. And that's going to be a much smaller audience. Maybe it's narrowed down to 250,000 versus 3 million. Okay. And is there anything you want to add to that, Mike, or anything you want to share or say?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's really key, just at this point, if you just kind of take one step back, because I'll tell you what, Nicole, one of the things I get all the time, and actually it's funny, I just did a brainstorm session after today's Q&A. So people went through 2.5-hour Q&A with our CEOs, with experts that we brought on very specifically in the Golden Goose Challenge to answer these questions. And yet still afterwards, folks were like, I feel a little bit lost on the marketing. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because there's a couple pieces here that people need to, or that at least that I would like to help simplify if people are looking for simplification. So when you're looking at building a product, you had kind of said it earlier as well, you may already have a product and you're trying to figure out who to sell it to. Well, if you're in a situation where you like your product and you're pretty excited about it, because there's a whole bunch of reasons why you would be feeling that way. A, you created it. B, it came from your brain and you're seeing it tangibly in front of you. Or, C, you feel like you've done a great job. So part of it's a pat on your back. And all these are really important. But then it comes down to, great, if I bring this invention to the world, then everyone's going to love it. Everyone's going to love me. And I'm going to be making lots of money, right? But then you try it and then you realize, okay, you know what? That didn't work. I spent $50 and I got nothing. I'm going to spend maybe $500 because maybe it's just how much money I put into it. And then you lose $500. And like, okay, you know what? I get it. There's a lot of advertisers out there. Maybe it's $5,000. And they keep putting more and more and more money into it. And they keep losing all of it because they miss the fundamental point in looking at Facebook ads. Facebook ads is nothing more than trying to find people that are going to be empowered or feel enriched or fulfilled by what it is that you are trying to present in front of them, right? Facebook is a lot more different than, say, advertising on Amazon. When you advertise on Amazon, it is a completely different reason. You spend the money because you want to get ahead of everybody else. And when you spend more money, it's true, you will get ahead of everybody else. And as long as you've done a good job on your listings and everything else, then it's great. But there's not much of a story that you can tell on canvases like Amazon. For Facebook, you're not just competing against people buying stuff. You're competing against people offering digital products, or offering, hey, would you be willing to read my blog? Or, hey, look at this amazing funny video that I just saw of my neighbor slipping on the snow, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're competing against content, you're competing against opinions, you're competing against other products. Like, there's a lot out there. And it's not to dissuade people from Facebook. It's just saying, don't go out there and create a broad audience and expect it to perform, because the more broad the audience that you're trying to win into your ecosystem or your product, the less chance that it's going to happen, because you're going to have to compete with more things outside of products. And I want to almost like just really hold that the reason why we're trying to get more niche and niche and niche, there's this false belief I think people have, that if you're only targeting like a smaller audience of say 100,000 people or 20,000 people or 50,000 people or 100 people or whatever, that, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make that many sales if it's only 20,000 people. I have a way better chance of getting sales if it's 20 million people.
Yeah,
And so
no.
I want to combat that false belief, saying, if you're trying to swim in an ocean of 20 million people, and you're trying to throw a rock in that ocean, well, you know what? Very few people are going to see that splash, because there's so much ocean that they have to live in, right? So many other things that they're a part of, and they're probably even not going to notice your splash. Not because you're not special, or not because they don't even need your product. It's because they weren't looking, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you go into a much shorter or smaller niche of, say, for example, I'm looking for the perfect dog leash for my tiny dog. Well, there's a very, very small subset of people that actually care about the type of leash that their tiny dog has. And that subsect might only be 20,000 people. But I kind of throw that around like this. Imagine if that you were inviting, like you wanted to throw a huge Christmas party. Or actually, no, I'm going to pull that back. Imagine if, because I think everyone can relate to this. Imagine if everyone, like, you have a kid, or remember when you were a kid and you were handing out chocolates door to door. Did you ever do that, Nicole? Where you did like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
you know
I
what?
was
Hey,
in Girl
donate.
Scouts. Yeah, we did. We
That's
did a
right.
whole fundraiser with the
Overpriced
kids.
chocolate.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like $17, chocolate almonds that you could get at the store for like $2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you don't just go to any community and do that. The best results that you're likely going to have is if you go to your community with people that know who you are and what you value, because more times than not, they are going to actually value a lot of the same things that you do, simply because they live in the same area, community, and experience probably the same external stresses as you do, weather, construction noise, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But the point is that they're closer to who you are. And you got to do that same mentality when you're thinking about niches. Is don't try and go all over your city and sell chocolate bars, because you're going to get a lot of shut doors in your face, and really it's going to be time and money that you're wasting in that. But if you go to places that will value what you value, for example, the types of leashes that tiny dogs have, and you can find those people, then you're going to have a much higher chance of actually finding success. So I want to kind of get away from big numbers versus small numbers, and why are we talking about niches, and why wouldn't you canvas to 20 million people? These are some major reasons why. One thing I would probably recommend as well is, so that's for people that have a product and you're trying to find your audience. What the Golden Goose Challenge is trying to do, and this is kind of my last point, unless you want me to keep diving in, but
Uh,
um, part of the Golden Goose Challenge is not just to create a product that then you can go out to the world and say, hey, look at my product. But it's to actually go out into the world first and say, what am I already passionate about? And who else is out there that's passionate about it like me? And what is it that they are needing? And how can I provide it to them in the form of supplements, CBD products, skincare products, or pet supplements? And so you go out into the world, say that you have, lots of stomach acid problems in the evening because of whatever your diet, or because of something, a condition that you have. Well, I'm sure there's lots of other people that are like you, your friends, your family, something like that, right? And so you're going to immediately be like, okay, this is a real problem. And, instead of taking, eating bread before bed, or trying to have a digestive enzyme, and none of this stuff really works. Well, now that we have apple cider vinegar gummy that doesn't, you don't have to drink that nasty fluid stuff anymore, which does work, but it's still nasty. But you have a tasty gummy that has the same result. Well, why don't you go ahead and try it, see if it works for you. And if it does, start going and finding other people, which you already should have in your life because you probably talk about this a lot, and start asking those people, hey, listen, if I gave you a free bottle of this stuff, could you tell me if this helps you the way it helped me? And then if that does work, who else in their life is someone that would be able to, that this could help out? Because again, they probably have other people in their life that they talk about that you aren't in the circles of yet. And this keeps going in this ripple effect until eventually you actually have a pretty decent sized community of people that not only have this same condition that you have, but have actually tried your supplement for apple cider vinegar gummies, like it works for them. And now you can go to those people and say, hey, listen, listen, if I could give you a massive discount, is this something that I could just send to you every month? And now you have your initial customer base, but this is all before you even thought about your brand. You found your customer, and then your brand is all about what matters to these customers in a way that it makes it feel like it's tailored just for them. So what hobbies are all of you a part of? What struggles do you all have? What are some similarities in your demographics that you can bring onto that bottle? So, and then what is the ultimate result that all of you felt came from, actually having a good night's sleep at night instead of waking up with stomach acid, right? So these are all components that then you can put on your bottle or on your brand. And then you go out into the world and find everyone that has stomach acid problems. And then, it's going to land because you have a subsect of 200 or 300 people you've already tested it on. Now, it takes a bit longer, but the difference is you created a brand for your audience, not bringing your audience to a brand and asking them to adopt it. Does that make sense? That's probably all I would probably say on the two topics there, but I'm sorry for on the big rant here, but I don't know. What would you say?
No, I like that, and I'm trying to tie it back to some concept that we've already previously taught. One of the things that we did early on was talking about finding our audience for sure, and you're finding a customer. Same concept, finding an audience, finding a customer. But having that product, figuring out what that product is that you're going to present to them, and one of the other small pieces of that was kind of, you mentioned it briefly, not exactly the way I'm going to say it, but it's the going out there and seeing what is it that potentially is already moving, what is already being looked for,
Yeah,
already,
absolutely.
so we did an exercise in our sessions, and we'll go over the sessions, but we did an exercise where we did some Google search researches, just to do some simple Google search research and to use some Google search research, and then also go see who's already selling in those categories and what is it already doing. So in the Golden Goose, one of the products that I was looking at is that they were talking about health and wellness products, because these are products that you can put your brand on. I'm going to fast forward just for a second. We'll back up. But one of the things you're going to do at the end of this challenge is you will be able to go live with whatever product when it comes to supplements. And so one of the supplements are skincare products. So one of the supplements I was looking at, things that are focused on immunity. Why? Because we're in the middle of COVID-19. Why? Because already something that people are already looking for. They're looking for things to either boost their immunity, help their immunity be able to fight COVID-19 if they already have it, things that are going to help protect their families. People are already in that mindset. And if you don't believe me, you can go and do Google searches to see how much people are looking for anything with the words immunity in the naming convention of it.
So, trends.google.com. Type in it's crazy. It's
crazy. It's bananas.
90th right now. It's crazy.
Right. And so this is one of the things that I've actually was talking about way back in April. We're now in December, and I was talking in April because traditionally one of the things that I sell is I sell over the counter stuff, but we would go and we would do retail arbitrage to buy things that people would already be buying in November, December, January, and February for the flu season. That's one of the categories. And so regular flu season stuff, people would be buying Ricola because they wanted cough drops, or they would be stocking up on vitamin C, or they would be stocking up
cold effects, whatever else.
Yeah, all of that stuff. And so if you go out there and do the research, what is the data already telling you? And one of the easy ways to go and look at that Google Trends, but also seeing what's happening on Amazon and what is the sales rank of some of those products.
Totally.
And coming back to, okay, now I have in the Golden Goose Challenge, We talked about an audience. We talk about a product. We talk about, how to find them. Now I have the opportunity to put my name on something
Yeah.
that I can sell that people are already looking for. And maybe I'm one of those people too, because I will tell you, I'm a health nerd. And so I'm already looking for it too. I know other people are looking for it. So why not? Why not go ahead and sell something that people are already looking for? And so being able to narrow down your audience when Facebook, or narrow down your audience in Google. And then once you've identified the audience that's already looking for these things, then finding a product, and then maybe there is a product inside of Dropify that will work for you, and then putting your brand on the product. So as part of our journey, I think in branding, I think is in session 2 or session 3, we talk about branding. So we talk about audiences, we talk about niches, and then we talk about branding and beginning the process of building out your store. What are the things that people are gonna be looking for? But again, on my approach and the way Dropify has done it is not completely different, but there are some similarities and there are some differences. The reason I like the Dropify approach is because these products are already in the US. If you decide you want to take the challenge, just going to fast forward. If you want to take the challenge, the products are already in the US. You already have the opportunity, you've already gone through the exercise in my class to talk about branding and how to brand and creating a logo and all that other stuff. You can go in, we've already gone through the exercise of looking at what are our competitors doing? What does it look like? What do their labels look like? What are they selling? What do their stats look like? You've already gone through that exercise. So if you decide you still don't know what you want to do with your Shopify store, maybe because you have the opportunity to throw up a couple different Shopify stores. Maybe you throw up a Shopify store that is either selling health and wellness products, because that's what's moving right now and will continue to move between now and next, probably March or April. Fitness products are still a trend. They're going to be a thing. Then they're going to continue to move between now and next April, because again, it's going to get warmer in April of next year. And so people are going to be looking for some supplements that will help them. Or if you don't want to sell supplements, maybe you really do want to sell fitness products. So being able to find those fitness products that are actually already in the US, I like the Dropify app for that. Skincare products, people are going to be concerned about their skincare. Women are always concerned about their skincare, but more so because we're going to be indoors. Summer in the wintertime, your skin can get dry, all those things. And then animal care products, again, caring for our pets. Those are some of the simple ones right now that inside of the Golden Goose, you have the opportunity to go in and kind of dissect and take advantage of, being able to potentially sell. So what I wanted to do was just really give you the opportunity to kind of consider that. It's $55. I will tell you that, to be able to take the challenge. The subscription for Dropify, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember, am I? Like the monthly subscription that I pay a higher monthly subscription because I'm running a couple of different Shopify stores. And so I'm got more going on, but I think it's 47. We'll go look at the pricing page. So I wanted to put that out there. Take a look at it. Just go to the page. All you have to do is just go to bit.ly/Golden Goose Challenge, and oops, let me escape out of this. Golden Goose Challenge, and just take a look at the page. I think it will give you an additional perspective, and it will help you with some of your product research. We're going to look at some product research today, just as part of the class anyway, but it also gives you another perspective. The last thing I will say is let me stop sharing for just a second. I have been following Lowell Rample for a while. I actually like him. I mean, I bought some of his previous products. And that the owners of Shopify, they're Laurel Rample and Chase Powers. And so I've been following them for a while. And so I wanted to just let you know that I've bought their products. The person who trained me or got me started doing Shopify has purchased their products. And so I kind of like them. And I just want you to know that I think that they are a reputable company. They do have people who have experienced success. And so I like to follow the lead when I can on with businesses that actually have had success, or people who have been successful in the e-commerce space. And so when it comes to considering them maybe I won't say a direct mentor, but an indirect kind of coach. I believe in what they do and how they teach it. So my stuff I teach a little different because I think not just Shopify. I was brought up selling eBay and then moved to Amazon and all these other platforms. So I kind of take a more well-rounded approach to looking at e-commerce and giving you ideas, types of perspectives. But just wanted to put that out there that that's an opportunity for you and in your business. So let me go back and pull this up and let's talk about what we've been doing for the last couple of classes. For some reason, I am popular right now. So let me just say this. Does anybody have any questions about what I was just talking about? The things that I was just discussing. Tell me if you have any questions. My screen first. What questions do you have? Okay, let me get that. No picture. Yeah, I haven't. I'm about to start sharing. I wanted to see what questions you have. All right. So today's session, we kind of segued just a little bit because I wanted to at least give you the opportunity if you're looking to have a private label product or looking to maybe have be able to sell private label products long-term, bigger picture, or if you want an opportunity to private label something actually in 2020 and get it started and be able to ride that wave all the way into next year, then the Golden Goose is another way to get started really fast. And you don't just have to sell it on Shopify. You can sell it on other platforms as well, but it's an opportunity to get started pretty quickly. So with that being said, I hope you'll look at it. I hope you'll consider it. I'm going to hide my floating panel. So if you're typing anything in the comments, I probably am not going to be able to see it. So this particular session, session 7, we're going to be talking about outsourcing, but we're also going to be doing a review. So before we get into outsourcing, let's talk about a review of what we covered so far. So if you're new to the Shopify class, I'm sorry, probably the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes of this, you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. And I didn't want you to be confused about that. But Mike was not able to stay long. So that's okay. So we just had to do like a really fast review. So Shopify, the reason that you would want to sell products on Shopify is because Shopify is one of the fastest growing platforms out there for e-commerce sellers. Shopify has been around for a while. There's a lot of people that have made a bunch of money in Shopify that were drop shipping directly from AliExpress, and they've been doing that for years. You'll hear about the Chris Records of the world and the Justin Sceners of the world and the others that have been selling. Peter Prue talks about Shopify, and he does funnels now, but all of these people have been selling their products on Shopify and making pretty good money, making really good money doing it. And then you hear the stories of people who have not been successful on Shopify. I will tell you, if you do have long-term, bigger picture, if you're wanting to create a brand or something that is yours or something you want to leave a legacy or something that you want to build and grow long-term, then creating a Shopify store is a great way to do that. If you have products that you have a brick and mortar, creating a Shopify store is a great way to do that. It is a fairly simple platform. There is a lot of setup, but it's a fairly simple platform to use. It's a fairly simple platform to be able to sell your products. And so I encourage people to try Shopify. So in this in this series, in session 1, what we did was we kind of talked about expectations, what to expect over the 8-session course, which is 12 weeks, your mindset, and we talked about you building a real work schedule. A significant amount of that real work schedule for this particular Shopify series is around you making time to do all the setup and the testing and doing the research. The key to your success on Shopify is actually finding the products that people want, finding your audience to put those products in front of, and making sure that you have processes in place to simplify your life. Because once you have your Shopify store up and running, even though there's a significant amount of work up front, 80% is setup and 20% of sales, or say 20% of other stuff, then you're going to flip that. And what's going to end up happening is a lot of the work, like you're just going to get a boatload of sales on the tail end, and you'll have a process that you just monitor. You check in with your suppliers, you check in to make sure the app is doing what it's supposed to do, but you end up getting sale after sale after sale if you put your products in front of the right audience. If products are in demand, if the products solve a problem, if the products address a need, if the product is something that the customer is already looking for, or if the product is something that, maybe it's a trend, it's a niche. An example would be like ring lights. I saw Shopify stores for just ring lights when they first came out a couple of years ago. And so, now, you can find them anywhere, but initially when you would see some ads, you might see the Facebook ad that showed a video of somebody using a ring light. It's like, oh, okay. And now, it's everywhere, and you still have a Shopify store for it, or maybe not. So building a real work schedule for me is a really big deal in order to have success on Shopify. And when you're done with this series, like, you literally, by going through session 1, 2, 3, and 4, could have your store completely up and running by session 4 with everything that you need to make it work. Okay. Understanding Shopify, we went through that. There is a lot of great information in that session 1. And then we talked about different models. So a couple of the models that you have available to you when you create a Shopify store, they're the ones that I think are really helpful to know. Is you can create a print-on-demand model. It's a print-on-demand store. And we actually looked at examples of models. So when you go through session 1 again, you'll be able to see that. But we looked at the print-on-demand model, which is an easy one to start. There are apps that integrate for you to be able to use the print-on-demand functionality. And what would you do print-on-demand? Well, right now, Christmas pajamas. Like, people are still buying Christmas pajamas. And so is there a possibility you get the pajamas before Christmas? Absolutely, because today's only the 5th. So putting up a Shopify store that sells print-on-demand pajamas, matchy pajamas, get up Christmas morning, everybody's got the same thing on, whatever the design is, put your family name on them, whatever, or put initials or monikers or whatever. Print-on-demand robes, print-on-demand house shoes, print-on-demand socks, print-on-demand sweaters, ugly sweater contests. Print-on-demand is a great one. And that type of store, again, it's not you handling physical products, it's somebody else. You design them, you make them available in your store, and then people buy from you. And then it's all handled by whoever you have your integration with. And we provide a list of integration in that class. So those are integration providers that have an integration already that you can interface directly into for your Shopify store. So customers just pick, plug and play, they go through the checkout process and they buy the stuff, and then somebody else handles it. You just kind of check in and make sure we're good to go. So the print on demand is one model, and that's pretty close to, but not 100% hands off. You have the physical products model, where you're drop shipping a physical product of some type. So physical products might be, for the holidays, I have to think about what another physical product might be. So, different toys. Toys are definitely always a good one for physical products. I have special needs sensory related toys. And so those are physical products. And I can order those. I can have, I can use an app to have an integration to be able to source products. And I use the Dropify app, just so you know, to find those toys that are already in the US warehouses so they can be delivered within 5 to 10 days, and you'll get them before the holidays up. So physical products is another thing that you can do. There's a couple of different stores where they have a combination of physical products and print on demand products. And that's another one of those models that we talk about, where maybe you're selling a physical product of not just, I'm trying to think. You talked about ring lights. There's so many different things right now. I'm just drawing a blank on physical products, and I have no idea why I'm drawing a blank on physical products, because I have print on demand products in my brain. So I'm going to go back to sensory toys. So sensory toys are going to be things that will help a child who is overstimulated and needs to calm down, maybe calming toys. So like a weighted blanket might be a physical, well, it's not a toy, but a physical item. A weighted blanket will help calm down a child and help them to be less sensory. And you can do print on demand weighted blankets, or you can just buy regular blankets and source those. Fidget toys, just physical toys that they just kind of play with. There might be jewelry. If you're going to have a specific type of store, that maybe it's a combination of maybe print on demand jewelry and regular jewelry. So print on demand might be something that you get engraved with your mom's signature, letters, the mom's initials or the birth dates of all the kids, and then other just regular jewelry that they may also have an option to buy. There's so many different combinations of business models that you can choose. So in session one, we talk about those business models and how you can potentially put those business models together when you're thinking about your store. The biggest thing about Shopify is we don't just want you to launch a store. We want you to think about the decision before you create the store. That is so important because sometimes people just create the store and they haven't thought through what it is that they plan on presenting or selling in that store. So we want you to think about all of the things that you want to potentially offer. Maybe you launch the store and that's not the only thing that you start with maybe one or two things, but if you have the plan to grow that store to become something much bigger, then you want to design it in such a way that you have the opportunity to do that. And then also in session one, we also do some comparisons to look at what's your competitor doing? How's your competitor store laid out? What does the look and feel of your competitor store? What are some of the products? Maybe you're going to be selling similar products or the same products, and kind of getting an idea so that if you have a problem, if you're not a creative spirit, that you have the opportunity to go look and say, okay, what can I do? What are the things that I can do? I want to make sure that I have these colors. I want to make sure I have these fonts. I want to make sure my navigation is this way. I want to make sure I have these types of offers, whatever it happens to be. So all of that's in session one. And we also talk about niches, which is something that we sort of started off this entire Shopify discussion on, which was talking about the golden goose. At the end of the day, everything that you potentially will sell, if you want something that's quick and fast, and when I say fast, fast is a relative term. Like you could actually go through the golden goose and then within 4 days after that, literally have your private label product ready to go. So simultaneously be working on designing your store. So Golden Goose Challenge is done Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday, which is, I think that is the 10th, the 9th or 10th. And so 4 days after that, you literally can have your store up and running by the end of that week. That is how fast you can get it going. Some of these other things may require you to do a little more research. You got to get samples of products coming in. So that's the reason why I recommended that. So in session two, we're doing keyword research. You're kind of, okay, now I've got some concepts, I've got some ideas, I understand about what the store, what's going to be involved in setting up the store. Now I know I've got to do keyword research on those products that I think, those niches that I said I was going to get into. Where's my audience? I'm going to do some research on that. We talk about store themes, how you should lay out your store, because in session one, we talked about looking at your competitor stuff. We walk you through sort of creating your Shopify store and designing a logo. This is your brand for your store, or potentially your brand for your products. So that is a great opportunity for you to be able to, create something that is your own. And we talk about what type of, domain and logos, what should they look like? How should they feel? And we go through and we look at several different stores. We continue the process of setting up everything. And then we also talk about creating those social media assets. So long-term, bigger picture, you're going to make sure your products are everywhere where people can find them, wherever customers are. So if your product is trending towards the younger audience, then make sure that you have a social media asset of a TikTok account or Snapchat or whatever. So your products are over there, or Instagram. If yours is for a more mature audience, maybe you're on Facebook. Or if your product is something that people are going to use physically, they're going to play with, they're going to do something with it, then, having a YouTube channel. So everything that's going to help you to be able to sell that product is going to actually show the product in use all day, every day. When you show a product that is in use, then people can see themselves with that product. So I remember over the summer when they were trying to, this summer, trying to figure out activities the kids could do, I would always see, of course, somebody was targeting me on Facebook. I would always see these toys that kids could play inside, or they could play in their backyard or whatever. And you would see kids outside. Well, of course, kids want to be outside. So those parents that were like, I'm going to give Jimmy or John something else to do, that ad is appealing to those people because now it's showing up in my Facebook feed. I was targeted, and you have the opportunity to be able to isolate those people, put that ad in front of them, and a video is always going to convert for that. I mean, I literally clicked on some of those. And then, of course, I knew I needed to source outside of the link that was given to me. So I would look at the ad, see how many likes it had, look at the traffic that this ad was getting, and then I'd go find the product somewhere else for a much cheaper price if I was going to buy it. And I did actually buy a few products that way. And my son, one of them was a tennis ball thing that had a string on it. And my son actually still plays with it to this day. So that's what we do in session 2. We go through and we set all that up. And we also talk about, setting up your social media assets and parking those. Then in session 3, we talk about your numbers and the math. When you're sourcing for products, you got to make sure you're finding products that you have at least the potential to have a good profit margin where you're making money. Having low margins on products is not good. So again, finding your niche early on in session 1 and also the keywords that are associated with your niche, or finding your audience and the keywords that are associated with in session 2 is going to be critical. And then we go through and start looking for products and doing more product research. Where are those products? How am I getting those products? What apps am I using to find those products? How am I integrating? So deciding your store model, if you want to be 100% hands off, and you don't want to handle products, then you're probably going to be doing drop shipping, and you're probably going to be doing some print on demand product. If you want to physically handle products, you have products shipped to you and you're going to do something else with them, or maybe you're sending them over to a prep center to actually put together bundles, which I love, love, love bundles. That's another way to sell those products, is using bundles. We talk about optimizing your listings, and then we talk through some of the apps that you're going to integrate into your store. And again, we go back into print on demand. So in session 4, we talk about shipping. And again, the objective for this series is to make sure that you're ready 100% for Black Friday. So shipping is going to be key and critical, and making sure whoever you're integrating with, if you're drop shipping, making sure you know what your volumes are, what's available, how many products have been sold. And if your volumes are low, maybe that's a product that you're probably not going to sell much longer. So you need to have a backup product for that, if, again, using an integration. We talk about the continue setup on your pages and preferences, meta tags, your payments, so that you can collect payments from your customers, offering customer discounts. Those are key, especially for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So since we're going into New Year's, like, are you going to offer a year-end sale in your Shopify store? This is something you should be thinking about right now. What is that year-end sale going to be, or year-end promotion going to be? Are you going to offer something for MLK Day? What is that promotion going to be? So going through that process and start doing that analysis, or making sure you're putting together those plans. I got to spend a little bit of time in my store, offer some additional things, maybe do some additional research to add more products to be available. This is a great opportunity to do that. And figuring out, doing some planning on what you're going to do long-term with your Shopify store. Then we went through Facebook ads, and we talked about Google ads. I actually pulled up trying to search for audiences in Facebook and how you might structure your Facebook ad. We talked about whether images and video, which one's going to get you more traffic. An image, when it comes to Facebook, video will definitely sell, okay, all day, every day. And you can do something on your own cell phone. Like, you don't have to have a professionally cut video. You can do something on your phone, and then have somebody, send it over to Fiverr or somewhere else, and have them splice it together for you and put an intro and an outro on it, or put something on it that helps it to look more professionally done. But there's a lot of products that are sold that were just done on a phone. I don't know if you guys remember, I think they're Banda, they were these little balloons that you fill up with water. It's a toy. And it was really popular. It's like Bandaloons or something like that. Not Bandaloons, but anyway, you fill them up with water so you can throw water balloons at people. It's a toy for kids, because I'm all into the toys over here. And I can remember the first time I saw the first video for that, before it became a really big product and it was bought out and all this other stuff. It was recorded on a cell phone. It was a cell phone video. You could tell it was a cell phone video. The dad who designed it, And he actually just recorded his kids out in the yard, filling up this thing, did some close-up shots of that, and then throwing water balloons at each other and playing. So it wasn't anything significant. There was another one that had to do with some Nerf wars. Again, recording it on a cell phone. So, iPhone has some great recording features. Samsung has some great recording features. Using that to be able to record and then send it over to Fiverr and have somebody do something to maybe spruce it up a little bit more, put some captions on it, and now you've got a great marketing video that you can use to run Facebook ads to, or at least find a target audience to put that ad in front of. But if you're not going to do video, then making sure that you have a really good graphic, sorry, not just a graphic, a picture of your product, and then maybe show some additional smaller circle pictures around it to show that product in use. Now, only because I'm probably not going to find it, but I will try. I'm actually going to go and see if we have any Facebook ads that we can look at real quick. Why is this thing not letting me escape? There it goes. So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to see if we come across a Facebook ad, because this was something we got into it, but we really didn't get into it. So let me see if there's any Facebook ads that come down, and I have to wait on Facebook to catch up for just a second. The one thing that that you have the opportunity to do is you also have the opportunity when you see Facebook ads and see that people are targeting you, or you see that an ad shows up in front of you, you can actually click on it to see, why is this ad showing up for me? So I don't know what this is, some kind of tablet. Okay, so I have children that are on the spectrum, so they probably found me because I'm in lots of autism groups. So they're probably targeting me. I want to show you something that may be helpful for you if you decide to run Facebook ads, and I strongly encourage that you do. So if you come down here and you see, why is this ad being shown to me? Because it says sponsored, so I know it's a sponsored ad. Why am I seeing this ad? And so once I go to why am I seeing this ad, again, my computer is really slow. So they're trying to reach people that are 18 years and older, and primarily in the US. And there has to be something else, probably something about my preferences or my history, that Facebook is like, this lady is always looking up stuff for children that need help with focus and concentration. So that's why you're possibly seeing this ad. But one of the great things about it is that you can come back here and you can reverse engineer. If you're seeing an ad for something, you can make notes. You want to go into the section right here so you can see what else that they may be targeting you on. And that's going to help you when you get ready to build your audience to create Facebook ads for them. So don't forget this feature. I was taught that feature, and I'm so glad that I was taught that feature by Michelle. But that is another way for you to be able to potentially find how people are targeting you. So this one, this lady, so this one is a Maxi Glide, and it's sponsored. And so if I click on the three dots, click on why am I seeing this ad? I'm sure it's because I'm Black and that Black lady. And I talked about hair because today or yesterday, I cut off like 6 inches of my hair. So I'm sure that that word, the fact that I cut my hair, came up. And because of the fact in the past, I've talked about twists and braids and natural hair care products. So I'm sure that it has something to do with either pages that I've previously liked, hair care related products that I previously liked, or it has something to do with, the fact that I've talked about hair. So I'm sure that that's part of the reason why I was targeted for this. But I want you to see this. They clearly have a video that's in use. It's probably something she just propped it up, and then they literally had somebody go in and do something. So the video looks a little more polished, a little more together. It doesn't look like it's just, a random video that's put together. And then the other thing that I do is I actually also look at the ad copy. So there's not a lot of exciting stuff in this ad copy. The previous one, let me go back up here and see if I can see it. Yeah, I make notes of different things. So if I'm targeting the same audience, and I will be targeting families with special needs kids, I actually go in and I make a note of the text. I take lots of screenshots of the text. Why? Because sometimes your ads are not going to get approved because of the words that you put in your ads. And so if you reverse engineer somebody else's ad And if those words were approved, there's a high probability if you use very similar words, or I haven't exactly cloned word for word somebody else's ad, but I got pretty close. And it just had a different picture on it. And my ad got approved. So trying to get your ads approved is a big deal, because when you start the process, they may deny it or decline it because of the fact that they feel like the words in it are not, what they want. So I always reverse engineer. If I'm selling a similar product or a related product, I go look at other ads that got approved. And I also come down here and I don't see a lot. I don't see any likes. So they must have just started these ads. This one has 17 shares. It's got 47 likes. They've got comments. So if you come across an ad where you see there's 200 shares or 100 shares and 1,000 likes and all that other stuff, that's an ad you want to pay attention to and look at it. What is about this ad? And so when I was telling you video sales, this is what I mean. And they've got words on the side of it coming down, 100% money back guarantee. They literally have taken a video and they've made it a long video and tripled it. And again, it's got different people's videos on it. So again, if you're selling a product, maybe you have a product and you get 3 different family members or friends to record a phone video to you and send it to you. You send it over to somebody at Fiverr, have them put it together for you, and you too can run a video ad. I'm just saying. I'm always reverse engineering what I see. So let me see. I have no idea why I have this massive delay. I'm just gonna look at one more. You also have these sponsored ads over here. I don't always pay attention to those. So Shopify, only because I'm teaching Shopify and I'm in Shopify right now. I have a Shopify session somewhere else. So let me just move on. Let me see. Oh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed, it's coming up. Okay. All right. So this one is seed. And, this is a probiotic. So this is a probiotic. I can tell you that it is. I know that for a fact. And so because this is a probiotic, only because I did some research for my son, I know that seed is a probiotic. So they are following me all over the internet because I was on their page. So you will actually put a pixel. That's one of the things that we teach in the class. Is how to put a pixel on your your Shopify store, so that when people go to your page and if they leave, then you can follow them with your ads wherever they go, whether they're in Google and looking up something and it shows up on the sidebar, whether they're in Facebook or whatever. So I don't know when's the last time I went to Seed, probably, 2 months ago, but it's still in my history somewhere that I had gone and looked at Seed. So I've looked at Seed. It's a probiotic. If you're going to sell some supplements, this might be a great opportunity for you to kind of look at what is the text that is being approved. Read the text. What about this text makes it great? And what about this text is helpful? So they have a reference to the NCBI, which I forget what that is. I know this is the National Institute of Health or something. Oh, that's what it is, but I can't remember what NCBI is. So they actually put a link to a government article as part of the ad. Very smart. So when it comes to supplements, there's a lot that's been said about COVID-19 and zinc. If you haven't looked it up, go look it up. Zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin C. And also probiotics. Those 4 things that help the gut health, which will help boost the immunity, are all helpful things. So if I were selling supplements that had to do with probiotics, I might go and create a little notepad or take the screenshot so that I have this text to reference, so that when I get ready to create my Facebook ad, I'm using similar words or I'm using similar phrasing so that Facebook will approve the ad. The other thing that I pay attention to is I look at the video. So let me replay this. Okay. So they've got the toilet paper globe and then they're showing their product and they got some words about their product. There's nothing fancy about this. There's nothing super fancy about this ad. And so you can use different tools. You can use Biteable, you can use videos, you can use Revio. There's all kinds of video creation tools that you can use to help create an ad, and it doesn't have to have all the fancy stuff in it. You can create something using that. The other thing is, okay, so we got some people that are angry. So 2 people are angry. but you do have some shares, you have some comments. So there are people that are somewhat interested in this. I do try to pay attention to this to see what the number of angries are. And then you might just also look at the comments, because maybe there's something in the comments that may help you to write a better ad up here, or to maybe put more information on your Facebook, not Facebook, Shopify store page description, so that you can manage whatever the questions are. So I know that that's something that they also cover in Dropify, and I talk about that all the time. Pay attention to the comments, and that may help you. Yeah. So I don't know if there's anything helpful here, but they had six comments, so I might read them and go see if I'm going to sell probiotics and see what it says. So let me see if there's anything else. I doubt it. Oh, and I love fun ads. So razors. Okay. Yeah. So this one is cute. And again, this is not anything that's super fancy. So it has 23 shares, 96 likes. And again, I think they show me a lot of ads because I actually sit on the ads. They're also looking to see how long are you sitting on the ad. I sit on the ad because I want to, I don't, first of all, I'm not married. I don't have any men in my family other than my two boys. So I don't need any of these products. But if you decide as part of the products that you want to sell, maybe inside of the Golden Goose skincare, and you want to do men's skincare, again, looking at the ad so that you kind of get an idea. You might see why they targeted you for the ad. You might see what some of the words are that they're using, and see what kind of traffic it's getting. So if you're going to sell men's skincare, that's another thing. So let me go back. I think there was a question here. I had no idea that you could check to see why they're, yeah, while you're seeing the ad. Yes, you can. Make a note of that all the time. Definitely do that. Okay. All right. And then the next thing that we talked about, as we talked about integrations, if you want to integrate your store and you want to cross list over to Etsy or to Pinterest or to Amazon or to Walmart or anything else, you have the ability to do that with the Shopify apps. You just have to install them on the Shopify store. And then customer service returns, and how to handle that. We talked through the Black Friday checklist and what you need to do to handle that. For customer service and returns, remember at the end of the day, you're not doing, if you are a current seller on Amazon or Walmart or eBay or Etsy or whatever. So this is really truly your store and your brand. So you have to decide what your position is going to be on handling your customer service and returns. Having repeat customers is the biggest thing. Being able to create email marketing ads and to have them come back. So if they buy something from you the first time, and then you send them a coupon, thank you for your purchase, and here's an additional 10% off for a year-end special, or 15% off. Think about those types of things. So this is your customer, this is your asset. The more customers you can get on your email list, the more potential money you can make. Okay. So one of the things that I think I've seen in the past is that people create Shopify stores and they really like their generic or general. And you can have a generic store if you got a lot of cash to be able to throw it at the store, you can do that. But if you want to niche down and you want to build a brand and you want to build a community or build an audience that's going to be loyal to your product. There are people that only buy a certain type of probiotic. There are people that only buy a certain type of whatever it happens to be. If you're wanting to do that, then having your social media assets and also setting up your email marketing is going to be one of the key things. Being able to do promotions back to them, being able to allow them the opportunity to share to others, all of those features, there are apps that will allow you to continue to have your existing customers share your offers or your specials with friends. Like, tell your friends, share this promotion with 10 friends and get an additional 15% off. There's all kinds of cool things that you can do inside of Shopify with Shopify apps. So don't overlook the opportunity of doing something with your social media assets and also email marketing. That list is going to be crucial to helping you grow your business long-term, bigger picture, and turn your Shopify store into something that is an automatic moneymaker. There are people that are just making really nice silent money because they run really good Shopify stores. And here's the other piece of this. If you're a person that bought a Shopify store, because there are people that create Shopify stores and create all of this branding and stuff, and then they just turn it over. You can buy it from them for a few $1,000s. You can do that. You just need to understand what it's going to take for you to change that store, maintain that store, manage that store, offer different deals. What's going to be involved in that. Because having somebody set something up and then you not understand how to fix it, how to change it, how to edit it is just so terribly frustrating. And so that's why I encourage you, if you go through sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4, that is really helpful for you. And then last but not least, we also talked about some more product research tools. We talked through some reverse sourcing strategies. I would consider indirectly some of the stuff that Dropify offers as being reverse sourcing. The reason why I say that is because Dropify has definitely done their research and finding products that people are already looking for and then presenting them to you as a seller for you to be able to sell them, for you to have the opportunity to sell them. So we talked about social signals, especially for Black Friday, to be able to cross-list your items, share them out on social media everywhere else. We talked about bundles and we talked about Keepa and how you can use Keepa. I use Amazon all the time to do product research for me. And that's one of the things that I do is I use Amazon all the time to do product research. So let me go and log into my Shopify store real quick. What questions do you have while I try to log into my store? Because I got 9,000 windows open. What questions do you have? You can type them in the chat. Let me see if I can get in without getting myself in trouble. Get into the right Shopify store. Oh, I never remember the passwords. Okay. What is this? I'm sorry. There we go. There's my Shopify login. I tell you, I do not remember this stuff. I don't. I have 2 different ones. I think I connected everything to this one. All right. What questions do you have while this thing comes up? Takes its own sweet time. Let me go lock in the Dropify. eCom. I have this already up. Is this right? Maybe. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I logged into, I think you can see my screen. I logged into the back of Dropify and there's a Chrome extension, which I'm incognito. So Chrome extensions don't launch when you're incognito. They just don't. But what I will tell you is there's different, there are different apps that you can attach to your store or you can sign up in the app and then attach your Shopify store to the app. So what I did was I created a separate Dropify account so I can attach my Shopify stores to them separately and then my business partner's Shopify stores to them separately. So that's how I use this. But the great thing about Dropify is when you come in here on the back end, like if you want to sell, shirts or hoodies or jackets or whatever, you can do that. As I come down, you're going to see other options available to me, mother, kids, and then you have all of these beauty products. You have health products. So I have products that I can choose from, skincare tools. There's going to be a lot of skincare stuff. Men's grooming. We just saw that men's grooming ad that was shared. Healthcare, sex products. That's on you. But there's a bunch of different options, and all of these are inside of the U.S. products option, and and then special categories. So something to think about, something to consider. As I scroll down, again, I continue to see options. So this weekend or last weekend, like one of the things that I observed was like Christmas lights. People are always buying Christmas lights. They're always buying them. What if you, maybe you don't necessarily sell them directly on your Shopify store. Maybe you're sourcing them through Shopify, and you're selling them on another platform, eBay, Amazon, Walmart, whatever, and you're selling them at a discounted price. What if you can get them for an amazing price here? You know, so that's the reason why I like this tool, because I can find all of them where the products are already in the US in some US warehouse somewhere. And then I can just connect them or import them to my store. And it's very easy to import them to your store. So I wanted you to know there's a lot out here. My son, he spent a lot of time in the men's clothing for his store, and we did a lot of work over there. Yeah, so many categories. Yeah, a lot of categories for you to choose. So that's why I choose this tool. Now, Oberlo is a good tool, and it's in the training. Like I said, there's other apps that are in the training. De-essers, I use that one as well. eCom Hunt, that's another one that I use. But again, all of those are great tools. They'll give you some statistical data that's going to be helpful to you in your store. But at the end of the day, one of the things that's the biggest thing is trying to get stuff over the ocean. And especially right now, and you're getting ready to go into the Chinese New Year. Okay. So that's another reason why, if your store, maybe you go ahead and set up the Shopify store that you wanted to set up, but having a secondary Shopify store set up, or maybe a secondary page where you can promote your healthcare products. If you decide you want to sell healthcare products, is another great thing to do, because again, COVID-19, what's going to happen? We don't know. Is China going to have problems with COVID-19 again? They're going to go right into the Chinese New Year. In the Chinese New Year, there's nothing happening in any other Chinese warehouses. And then again, depending on what happens with COVID-19, we got a new administration coming in. I don't know what this is going to look like. Nobody does. Only God knows what it's going to look like on the other side. But I am more than happy to source from products that are already in the US. That's how I see it. And so if I've got to get supplements that are coming across the ocean, I'm much happier that the supplements were made here and I sell supplements that are here. So I'm going to do one last thing. I think I'll pull up day 3. So this is from the Dropified, the Golden Goose workshop. So we talked, one of the things was talking about niches, products that are needed. Multivitamins definitely going to sell. Multivitamins are going to sell. They're going to sell because at the beginning of the new year, people are like, oh, I got to take control of my health naturally. Even if COVID-19 was not going on, like people are going to be like, oh, I need to do a better job about my health. I should take some vitamins. I should probably get out and walk and stretch and exercise, get some sun. I should drink more water. Okay, these are all things that we tell ourselves. Then fish oil, vitamin D. Vitamin D3 is a big, it's on the list for fighting COVID-19. It's also on the list for when you have the flu. So again, vitamin D is so important. D3 is a big one. Another one of the products that, again, you're going to find in your back office for Shopify. That's not, I don't know what that is. That's not glutathione. That's glutamine. I don't know what that is. Whey. I'm assuming that these are like, if I'm doing fitness, I'm working out all the time, and you would have to go look that up. That's not my jam. I'm sorry. I know I look fluffy, so it's not my jam. But so I'm guessing that this is one of those like muscle recovery kind of supplements. And so is whey protein, and so is creatine. So there are people that are buying that. But the multivitamin, these are things that I would buy. You would probably buy them too. So I go down. This is, products that are needed in a niche. These are things that people are buying. People are looking for these products. Okay. And you'll also notice, like for Shopify, like when they were giving you some ideas on how you might market it. See, it says for golfers. So what if you sold supplements that were for, I'm 50 years old. So, middle-aged women. So, multivitamins for middle-aged women, and fish oil for middle-aged women, vitamin D for middle-aged women. and these, you can also use these for, active middle-aged women. If you were working out, I'm not working out. It's really bad. I should work out. Some strategies for your niches. So I love the fact that they kind of give you some additional ideas. Go see what's already being made, what's already being sold, and then what could you do? What could you be offering to your customers? Again, this was in the Golden Goose strategy. So it kind of made me look at, because I was not interested in selling supplements. I'm just going to tell you, wasn't interested in it at all. But the reality is it's a category I was already indirectly selling in as a reseller, because I was sourcing things like Ricola and the Ricola Immune boxes that you can buy at the Dollar Tree for $1, and then you turn around and sell them for like $19.99. It's ridiculous. People just don't know. So I would literally buy those things and resell them for a significant markup. Well, if people are already buying, supplements, because naturally they would be, because of the new year, you want to do better, and because we're still dealing with this stupid pandemic. And this is probably something that's going to continue to happen even to the beginning of 2022, if we're going to be honest about it. Because the winter is going to come around again unless we get hit by an asteroid. It's going to continue to happen. Life is going to continue to go on. So having supplements in your arsenal of products to sell is not a bad idea. So during that session, they gave all of these great examples of products, and see how they take the same product. These two are the same product, it's just different labeling on it. You putting your own brand and your own spin on it. Something that's going to appeal and then get some natural organic sales. So that's why I think there's an opportunity. I'm not here to, I am suggesting that you take a look at it, especially if you're a person that is struggling with, I still don't know what to do in my store, Nicole. I still don't know what I should sell. I still don't know whatever. Even beyond the examples that I gave you when we did sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're still struggling to figure out, okay, what am I going to sell? I don't have $1,000 a month, sorry, $1,000 a week to spend on ad spend. You haven't niched down, you haven't figured out who your target audience is, you haven't found that target audience. If you're still struggling, I feel like this might be a quick win and an easy win. So if you decide you want to take the Golden Goose Challenge, I'm already in it. I'm bringing up my products. And if you want some help and you want to walk alongside me, like we can do a session, you can schedule a one-on-one session. We can sit down 20 minutes and let's go through it. And let's do it together. Do your store together while I'm doing my store at the same time. My products, my brand, and all of that. And getting these products up and running on other platforms as well. Because people are going to be buying supplements. They are. They just are. They are. They're going to be buying other products as well. So this is an opportunity for you to get a quick win and to actually do your first private label product in the US before the end of the year. It's a win-win. And again, it's $55, and whatever the cost is of the drop. I already have a Dropify account, so it's whatever the cost is of the Dropify account. So yes, that is more money. Your call. Pray about it and think about it. So those are the big ticket items I wanted to cover today. I will say this. I extended the store review to everybody. I had 2 takers, and we got started with 1 taker, and the other one we moved it out to January. If you need to do a store review, I will allow you to schedule a 1-hour session with me between now, and I'll give you until the end of January, 1-hour session, because I got to get ready for working on the summit. If you want to do that, email me, and we will do a 1-hour session where I walk through your store, and we can do it anytime between now and then, and I'll let you do an additional 20-minute session if you want to. And this is all free. Like you're not getting charged for this, because I want you to win. I want you to win. So an additional 20-minute session, so we can, if you're going to do the Golden Goose Challenge with me, if you're not, that's fine. But if you're going to do the Golden Goose Challenge with me and you're stuck on something, then I will give you the link so you can actually do a 20-minute, we can do it together. Because I want my store up and running. By the end of next week, if the Lord says the same, or anything interesting that happens with these kids, my store is going to be, like my products are going to be out there, or at least my labels will be done. And I will be sending stuff off to Amazon and to eBay for with my labels on it, like, for them to give me approval to be able to sell my products if I need to in certain categories, because Amazon's being weird. Stuff you can use to sell, you can't sell. They're just being weird. So it's just weird right now. So if you want to take me up on that offer, the offer still stands. I will allow you to have a 1 hour session. We can go through your Shopify store. Everybody who's in this course can take that. I also was offering, if you needed to have your graphics done, I can't, like I gave you guys until December I think I forgot what the date was, but it was not December, it was November. I gave you until like November the 12th or something if you wanted me to do your social media assets. Again, absolutely free, because I want you to win. I really want you to win. So I may put that back on the table. If you didn't do it, I may put that back on the table, but it won't be right now. I have too much going on. So if you are interested in that, speak up now. Let me know if you're interested. And so would you let me know what a store review is? A store review is if you go through session 1 and you go through session 2 and 3 and 4, and you go through the exercises and you actually start working on your store, and you get your store to a place where you're like, okay, I think I'm ready. Like I found my products, I created some listings, I got my imported products into my store if I'm using a tool. If I'm not using a tool, I manually added products to my store. Like I got my setup, I got my design, I got my colors, I got my layout. I set up my my payment options. I set up my my shipping options. I did all of this integration, whatever it happens to be for your store. And you're like, okay, is my store ready or is my store not ready? Like, is there any tweaks you think I should make? You think there's any tweaks I can make to my listings? That's what a store review is. And I'm giving you an hour to be able to, we can step through that and look at your store, because in the sessions, I am walking you through what you need to do. We have screenshots. Sometimes I bring up my own store, and so you can see what you need to do. So is there a Dropify training? Dropify has a boatload of training. Yes. Dropify, if you get Dropify, they have a boatload of training. I will tell you that. Oops. That, close this. So Dropify, where is their training? In their back office. So they have a drop video training. So if I click here, I gotta log back in. Hold on, I gotta stop sharing for just a second. They have a lot of training already on how to use the Dropify tool. And again, I'll even help you because I'm using it. That's not the password. Trying to get there. Oh. I hate it when I can't remember what my password is. Hold on. Okay. All right, let me share my screen. So when you log into Dropify, if you scroll down, you have the ability to go through all of their Shopify training. It's all at the bottom. You can click on all training. They have a boatload of training. Oh. All right, so I'm not logging into all this other stuff, but anyway, you can go through the training, and they have amazing help. That I will tell you. We did a couple of sessions. Our trainer, I feel like our coach his name is Greg or something like that. So if you had any questions about the products or how to process orders through Dropify, once you've integrated products, the ability to import products into your store is so easy. And if you run into any problems, then they'll just click on this and ask for your specific coach or whoever. I have one, but when you click on help, just whoever will help you, and it is just amazing. And the great thing about Dropify is you can either set up multiple Shopify stores and attach your shop. You want to connect your Dropify account to each store separately versus directly going into your store and attaching it to Dropify. But we went through that so that way I can use my Dropify account on multiple Shopify stores. Multiple. That's a big deal. That is a very big deal. So yeah, I like Dropify. I really do. Over Oberlo, over de-essers over eCom Dash. I'm not saying I don't get any value from those, but the thing at the end of the day, I think about the future and what's going to happen if you're using eCom Dash and you're still importing from AliExpress and it's coming across from China, and China has another outbreak for COVID-19. I don't have time for that. I got to make this money. So I am going to go with the source that I know has products in the US, period, in a day. You can log into your AliExpress account and you can do a search. If you go to your dropship dashboard, and I think I talk about that, I don't remember what session it is, probably session 4. You can go into your Shopify dashboard and literally choose products that are already in the US as well. That's another way to do it. And that way, if you don't want to pay for Shopify, you don't have to. Just log into your AliExpress dashboard, drop shipping dashboard. There's a link to it inside of eCom Sellers Mastery Facebook group, and you can look for products that are already in the US. That's another way to do it. It's another way to do it. So it's a different way. All right. If items are out of stock or low on Shopify, does the quantity affect your Shopify store, or do you manually change the numbers in your store? It actually does an integration. So one of the things I say, like for Black Friday, you want integration, meaning if they say that they have 6,000 in the warehouse, then that, as sales happen, the quantity is going to start to decrement. And then if it's out of stock, it'll actually show out of stock in your Shopify store. But this is what I say. If it's a hot selling item, you need to find a backup, something that's similar, especially if it's something that's moving. So having multiple options available to you so you can import that other product that's similar, so that you're not losing out on potential sales, especially if it's a hot one. If your customers are interested in it, the great thing about Shopify is you get access to customer data that's yours. So you know what your customers are buying, you know what your customers are interested in, and maybe it'll give you ideas on how you can better serve your customers. What other products you can be offering them so you can make more money. And you can also serve your customers better. So yeah. So I'm only interested right now because we're going into whatever round 2 of COVID-19, and it's going to probably be a global situation. I'm interested in what's already in the US and how much of that stuff can get into US warehouses right now, and who can I source from right now that's US based. And so that's why that's the reason why I use Shopify. So, but I do want you to know you have an alternative, which is go to AliExpress, choose locations that are in the US, meaning the products are already in the US, and you can source from those products as well. So. All right. So what I may do is later on this week, I might do it next weekend. I might actually record a session and put it inside the Shopify training for you all of me working in my store once I have my health products done. And so showing you how you can import those products so that you can decide what you want to do. Maybe this is something you want to do, maybe it's not, but it gives you the opportunity to see, oh, okay, she did, like I just imported. I click on the little button and stuff imports into my store, and it's print on demand. They're putting the labels on it. I just design it, give them the design copy, and they just slap it on the outside of my bottle. So it's what's called white labeling, taking white label products and just sticking your logo on it, sticking your label and logo on it. You cannot beat that. So for those, supplements and stuff like that. So that is all I'm going to cover for tonight. I'm sorry. I feel like part of this was a rambling because at the beginning it wasn't very structured. I apologize if you're new. Please go back and watch sessions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3 are probably 2 hours long. I apologize. Break it up into 30-minute sessions. Go back and review it. And then the rest of them are closer to an hour. Go through those. And then if you have any questions, you can always email me. You can ask your questions in the Facebook group. And you can always come to any of the live Q&A sessions to ask any questions that you have. And what we'll do is I will probably go into my store as I finish this Golden Goose Challenge, and I will show you what I did so you can see mine and you'll see what I set up. And you'll be like, okay. And this is not to entice you to sign up for Dropify. I just want you to know how easy it is to bring up other stores in Shopify, because Shopify is so worth it. That's all I have for now. Let me know in the group if you want to schedule a 1 hour session. I'll send the email out again. And we want to get those done by January 31st, before January 31st. And then if you need a 20-minute session, I'll also include that. So you can schedule what you need, and let's just make this happen for you. Okay. Bye for now.